what he's got. I don't know what this big guy's got up his sleeve. Are we back?
Well, we're on right now.
And we're back with another episode. Kyle's a little zany right now.
I am. I just had like an odd thing happen right before this. So I just got home. I was gone all day, long day. And I'm pulling up the driveway and I see this woman like in a frenzy in the front of my house. She was like yelling things out of her car window and just like hysteria. And then she said that she lost, I thought she was talking about her kid, like an Amber Alert situation. So I was very concerned. I was like, is everything okay?
It's so funny because I was in the kitchen. I saw her out there, but I'm like, unless she's knocking on my door, I'm not going out there.
Right. So I was very concerned. Is everything okay? And she said she lives behind us and her parrot just flew out the window. And she thought the parrot may have flown in our backyard and she wanted to go have a look. So I said, by all means. I walked her back. I'm always like bringing people in my backyard. It's so nice, you know? So I walked her back and we started looking for this parrot. Then meanwhile, the neighbor's kid came running over and he's like, what happened? He's like, she lost her parrot. And then he's like 10 years old. He's like, I lost my parents at Costco once. But no, her parrot. So evidently, if you live in the greater Amityville area, there's a green parrot that flew away. And our neighbor, this is how we met our neighbors for the first time.
Because they're not our neighbors. So the house behind us, they're on a whole different street. So like, you don't know any of them. Like we know our next door neighbors, but the backyard that's connected to our backyard, you know, they might as well live in a different country.
So I asked, I was like, well, does he listen or can I call him or what should I do to help? And she said that he likes men and he might land on my shoulder because he is used to landing on her husband's shoulder and he's a guy too.
I was like, please let Kyle be outside grilling and a green parrot just flies on his shoulder. You would freak out. You'd be scared.
I would definitely be scared. So evidently these things, you could clip their wings, but
she said she felt bad.
It's bad. You know, it's like declawing kittens. Like,
but don't you do that?
It's sad, right? It's like torturing them. Well, that's why I think.
But keeping them in a cage in a house.
That's what I'm thinking.
Torture?
Like, I really hope that they find it, and hopefully a listener is listening and helps find the parrot, and we could reunite them. But if not, I think the parrot is probably gonna have a better life just living free. Now it could like
go to the beach,
goes to the beach,
hangs out with
other
meets
birds.
A hot seagull.
Yeah. But,
it's funny because then I like texted her other neighbor. I was like, they're gonna think I'm like drunk or something. I was like, hey, the house behind us, their green parrot got loose. So if you see
have you seen it?
If you see it in the backyard. I like almost didn't send it because I was like, this is just so dumb. But I'm like, oh, it was almost kind of like if they're in the backyard, if you see it.
But then her husband came while we were in the backyard too, and he just helped himself walk right back. And so I met him. His name's Scott, and he seemed like a cool guy. He's got a lot of tattoos.
Yeah.
So now we have like new friends.
Yeah.
But you know, I wish we met under more favorable circumstances. It's it's just terrible that the parrot flew away, but hopefully it turns up.
Yeah.
So this is a big week for you. Bachelorette party.
Prep all week.
Oh yeah!
Oh my God. I thought something was wrong. Nails, eyelashes. I got my hair done last week. No, I just do that all the time. But
you're really doing it.
So it's a 15 girl bachelorette party. Now these are like all my friends that I used to bartend with. I used to like all like, in my mid 20s where we used to like go out in the city, like my party girls. But now a lot of them are married. A lot of them like have a kid, like very like one baby. So it's like their first time out. But, so luckily I think other girls in the group are on the same page as me where I'm like super excited, but I'm also a little anxious because I don't know if I can hang anymore. I know like.
Oh, I'm sure you can.
I know I can.
You probably don't need as much sleep as they do. You'd probably be up and at them.
Well, the thing is, yeah, I'll be up. That's the only thing is like, I know in the morning I'll be up before all of them. They'll probably all like sleep until 11. That I will not do. Even if I want to, I can't do that anymore. But I'm worried about falling, like getting tired at night. Like my legs get tired. Like now when I go out, if I'm not sitting down, I can't.
I'm sure you'll be sitting
Yeah.
sometimes, right?
But I'm just a little nervous that I just hope I can hang. Because the main girl, the bride to be, she does not get tired.
No, she's high energy.
Yeah. So, you know,
she's high energy.
high energy, wants to go, everything. All like people that don't know her are like, "Ugh, she's so fake and so annoying." I'm like, no, she's just the life of the party.
She is. She
just wants everyone to have a good time. And so it's her. So you got to show up for her, you know?
So it's kind of funny because we were just talking about this before we started recording, and we said that you were going, and Zane was like, "Oh, I love cougars." Talking about it, it's just so funny to think like I think of them as like young, but they're like cougars.
But I guess if you think about it, like when I was younger going out, like people were like, "Oh my God, they're married, they're old." Like almost all of them, like except for I would say like 80% of the group is married.
Right. I remember
or has a kid.
My like sophomore year of college, like I met this girl who's like 26 or 27, and I hung out with her. And I remember I was like, I hung out with this MILF. It was crazy. Like she had her own apartment and stuff.
Yeah.
Like, and I thought it was like wild.
Yeah.
Like, it was like this old MILF.
Uh-huh.
So that's where Zane.
You're seeing it through my eyes now.
Yeah.
I saw it through those eyes a long time ago, but it's just funny. Like her friends, I think of like young, young.
Mm-hmm.
But
yeah, Zane was like,
cougars.
"Oh, she's a cougar."
They're
I was like, "What?"
like
Do people
fine
still
wine.
say cougar?
I say cougar.
Yeah.
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 So what is cougar?
To me, I thought cougar was like,
I think to be a cougar, you have to have some level of like failure.
oh, really?
Like
You think
kind of
so?
like been through it, right?
Well, I think of a cougar as like you have kids that are like in high school or college or over. Like I think of like, you know what I mean? Like if you ever watch like the Housewives on Bravo, like all of those, I would say they're cougars, but they're all, you know, a little bit older. I wouldn't think someone in their 30s is a cougar.
Like, yeah, I don't think of a 30-year-old. I think you have to have like smoke cigarettes and have like a flinty voice. But like you kind of like wear a lot of makeup and stuff and like package yourself well.
Yeah.
And you know, like have like a sexy aura about you.
Yeah.
Sign me up for that.
Like
yeah,
pay
but
pay
a lot
for-
of good packaging and
where
good
they have like
products.
money and they pay for
Yeah,
like a 24-year-old to go out to dinner, and then they're like, "Here, you can borrow my car."
It's not just like an age thing.
Well,
though.
when I go on dating apps,
Like if you're 35, I don't necessarily think that's a cougar. Or
no,
like
I think of a cougar like
you know,
like late
55.
40s and late 40s into 50s.
right? That's
Not
what I
even
mean.
like
when
yeah.
Zane said like Alina is not a cougar. Like no way.
I mean, I don't know. I don't think.
No.
the last week when I've been on dating apps, I set the age preference to like 28 to 35. And I just start swiping.
So wait,
28 to 35, and just a little advice. I would say that is probably the worst thing you can do
Probably
because
is.
that's the age where they likely are in a serious relationship. So anything before that are like her wild, like I'm single, I'm too young to be in a relationship. Then once you hit 27, 28, then it's like I want to be in a really serious relationship. Then through 35, you're still in that phase. Then after, say, 38, then it's I give up. I'm gonna be a slut again,
So you're saying I need to go higher?
or lower. I
So-
think like 28 to 35, I would bet statistically is your lowest, worst age group to target.
Can we clip this? This is okay.
Yeah,
This is perfect.
but I think that's your worst group to target. I think you either have to go, you know, for you, you know, 19 to 25, 26, or 40 to 55.
I was talking to this 23-year-old earlier, and apparently she works at like the Syosset hospital. So she like works like nearby here, and she's like messaging me. She's like, "Oh, when can I see you?" I'm like, "Oh, when are you free?"
She said that. When can I see you?
Yeah.
Oh my God, Zane.
That's good.
But then she's like, "Oh, my shifts are from like 9 p.m. at night to 5 in the morning," and I'm like,
That's
doesn't
8
work.
hours.
8 hours, but you gotta sleep.
She works night
Okay,
shift.
Yeah.
She's not
Yeah.
every day, right?
Not every day. I don't know. Maybe I should go see this chick.
Why don't
She
you?
probably sleeps like, from 6 till noon.
She doesn't
You guys
have
go out
that,
to lunch.
that cougar energy. The numbers just don't add up.
How old is she?
23.
That's perfect. That's what I'm saying.
That is.
A 28-year-old is looking for a 28-year-old is looking for,
She like wants
a
to know your credit
34-year-old
score.
guy who has a good job and his
She's
shit
like 28.
together.
She wants to know your credit score.
Mhm.
Yes. Below 20.
They don't know what a credit score is.
They don't give a fuck about that. They just want either rich or handsome.
Yeah.
Like really handsome or reasonably rich.
Mm-hmm.
Those are the only things. Then after 40 though, they also don't care about anything. They just want like some attention.
Yeah. So probably go lower for the lower age because that's where they feel like they can get more attention.
Yes.
Mhm.
But what you're targeting, Zane, is the worst thing you could target.
Damn.
I'm glad that came up. Yeah, so exciting for your bachelorette party.
I'm worried about you though.
Oh my God. Yeah. And it's funny because I always say this, and it's something that I'm always sympathetic for people, is I hate when someone's lonely.
That's something that's always bothered you. So not that like it doesn't bother me, I don't care, but that bothers you so much. Like whenever like if someone comes up that we know or whatever, you're always like, I just hope they're not lonely. Like that's like your biggest soft spot. Like if someone were to tell you that, man, I'm just really lonely, you would like almost cry.
Yeah, for whatever reason, the idea of someone being lonely and alone are different things. Like some people, it's kind of nice to be alone sometimes, but the feeling of loneliness to me is like the worst thing ever. Like I hate being lonely.
Mm-hmm. But
really
you get
do.
lonely very easily.
Yeah, I
like
do.
if I
This
go to
weekend, I'm gonna be
sometimes
lonely as
like
fuck.
we're both home and I'm like, oh, I gotta go get my nails done, and you're like, oh, what time are you gonna be back? And I'm like,
that's not
so.
true.
So I try to like make my appointment sometimes, like when I
busy.
know you're gonna be busy.
Well, that's why I try to be really busy because I don't like that, I don't like being lonely, and I'm very sympathetic. Like if someone's ever be like, oh, I'm lonely, I'll be like, well, come over.
Yeah, even if you
come over, we'll make dinner.
Yeah,
come over, we'll watch the fights.
It's funny because I just think you get lonely very easily. I mean, it has nothing to do with you. Like I love you so much, but I do not mind like alone time. I
don't necessarily mind alone time either. There's a difference between alone time and feeling lonely. You could be amongst a large group of people and feel lonely.
Mm-hmm. That's true. Like for me, I enjoy doing things on my own. Like I enjoy like when I drive. Some people like when I drive to training. I like that like 2 hours of just by myself in the car, just thinking about like just listening to whatever I want, or not listening to anything. I just kind of like that. But I've lived by myself. A lot of people, it's crazy to me. There's people that have never lived on their own. A lot of like girls are like scared to live on their own. And I think that's a really like bad quality to have. Not that I don't think you should live alone. Like for a long period of time, but I think it's important for people to at some point in their life, like when you're younger, to live by themselves.
Yeah, I agree. And like I said, it's not necessarily an issue of being by myself, but like the feeling of being. But you've
lived by yourself.
Most of yeah.
But a lot of people have never once lived on their own, and they're like, that's great. Even if it's just like having a roommate or whatever, that's fine. But I think it's very important for young people to have a period of time where they live on their own, even if it's just so like in the future, so they know that they're capable of doing that. Some people are not.
Yeah.
And that's a like almost like a irrational like fear of them. So I don't know. I don't know if that's like, I'm not into zodiac signs, but I'm a Capricorn, and they say the number one thing about that is like independent. Like
INDEPEND, independent.
Yeah. So, but they said like being able to do that stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm
like I like before, I don't now, but before like we lived together, I would always go to the movies by myself. People are like, I would never go into a restaurant by myself. I
used to do that a lot.
I kind of like going to like a restaurant by myself. Obviously, if I have the option.
I feel like a food critic.
If I have the option to go with you, but I just think it's like a boss power move. Like I like sitting at the bar, eating by myself, just looking on my phone, and like that doesn't bother me at all. Like I've spent time in Vegas when I was getting like rehab on my shoulder, and I was there for like a week by myself. I went to see Cirque du Soleil shows. I went to nice restaurants because I'm like, well, I'm here anyway. What am I going to do? Just sit in the hotel room? Like,
Right.
that doesn't bother me at all. Like doing things like that. People probably thought I was a prostitute, but yeah, I had a good time.
Yeah. Well, hopefully I have a good time this weekend.
I'm nervous about you though. What are you going to do?
I'm going to visit him every day. Don't worry.
I don't know.
You too.
Probably
I'm going to
just
walk
be
him and
lonely.
feed him. Just like I did for Pablo.
I really do worry about you though.
Yeah. Well, I think I'll be all right.
I'll check in on you.
So we had some fights this weekend. Not like a ton to talk about. There was that one female fight, Edgar and Bruno Silva.
Mm-hmm.
Bruno Silva won like a super fast armbar, but it was a really weird like stoppage.
Cause they couldn't see.
She
the
just
tap.
let it go. Like there was the ref didn't see a tap.
Yeah.
So instead of snapping her arm, she just let it go.
Well, she said she heard her tap.
Yeah, but then the girl didn't really say that she tapped. So then
And you couldn't see it on the camera. And then, the other girl that got submitted didn't say a word. She just stopped and looked, and the ref, because the girl holding the armbar felt her tap, but no one saw it. And she goes, she tapped. And the other girl didn't say anything.
If she would have instantly protested, it probably would have been a no contest.
Yeah, and then they replayed it on all the camera angles, and you couldn't see it at all. But then I think one of the judges that was right in that view said he 100% saw she tapped.
But, and I think she did tap, but the ref said to Bruno Silva, he's like, that was really good. You were a really good sport about that.
Good sportsmanship.
Good sportsmanship. And I got to say, like, I hate the idea of anyone getting injured.
Right.
But that is not something that you should get in the habit of doing.
No,
because
absolutely
they
not.
easily could have been like, no, we're going to start over, or no contest. Like, you have to wait for the ref to stop you. If they're worried about their arm breaking, then they need to tap before, like sooner.
Yeah. Well, it's
But
almost...
you can't wait. You can't just be like, I don't want to break her arm. You're trying to break her arm, and hopefully they tap.
That's like similar to what happened with the Michelle Watterson and the Lemos fight.
Oh, that was
kind of similar situation. It's funny when I talked about last week how I write down everything. One of the things before a fight, one of the things I always write down is if I have a submission, I will not let go until the ref pulls me off.
Yeah.
Because it's like they were like, oh, such great show of sportsmanship. No, it worked out in her favor.
It worked out in her favor, but it could have been a very
But
big
that was
mistake.
to me is a very dumb
And you never
thing
want
to
anyone
do.
to get hurt. I would hate.
But you're in a fight.
Yeah, but you're trying to hurt the person.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. It could have been.
They have to tap. They have to be
I mean,
smart.
if the other girl would have, I wonder if the other girl would have said, I didn't tap, and they have no video proof of it. It could have been a no contest.
Easily could have been no contest.
Because because one judge said he saw it.
If she was adamant about it, like instantly.
Yeah. Yeah.
They've restarted fights. I know that one time Matt Lindland was fighting. This was maybe older times, but they thought he tapped, and he protested that he didn't tap, and then he got submitted again later in the fight.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so I've seen a few things like that where they restart a fight, but it was slick armbar, cool to see, but yeah. So one thing that happened on this fight card that you do not see very often was Sam Alvey. So I believe it's Tim Carpenter's favorite fighter, but
Smiley
Sam Alvey. He's been in the UFC for a long time. He's always had like exciting fights. I remember he has a couple really good wins too. I think he actually has a win over Rashad Evans, if I'm not mistaken. But in his last 9 fights, he's 0-8-1. And I just think that is just incredible because he's not even like I think BJ Penn lost like 7 of 8 towards the end of his
Penn's
career.
like an iconic
but he's like the
fighter.
most legendary fighter there is. This is basically just like a long time roster guy. Never got too high, but definitely a tough guy.
Common fans today don't know who he is. Like newer ones.
Yeah, most new fans probably don't know who he is. But I was thinking about it. To go 0-8-1 in 9 fights, I mean, you don't sign 9-fight contracts, right?
Right.
So that means he signed some type of contract
at some point, probably
with no wins. Like he went 0-4 on a contract, or 0-4-1 on a contract, or you know what I mean? Like
Right.
There had to be some period in that contract where because it's only like 5-fight contracts, right? It'd be 5 or 6, 4.
I mean,
Most
don't know.
of them are 4.
Yeah, I don't know how it works for the guys. I mean, maybe like girls, I get 8-fight contracts.
Oh, I thought yours was 6. Yours is usually 6.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh.
Now it's 8?
I don't know. I
think it's 6.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know. 8 or 6, whatever. But guys,
well, yeah, but it's definitely not 9.
Yeah, I think guys have smaller ones.
Yeah, but I
Definitely not
thought that
9.
was really crazy. But he's doing something. Maybe he just puts on exciting fights or.
It's so weird because then you see people like Chris Wade was 2-2 with like.
No, Chris Wade was 5-2.
5-2. Yeah, sorry, 5-2, and he got caught
after a win.
After a win, yeah.
Yep, after a win.
That's so wild. It's like you
so
never know.
Wild.
I would imagine. It's funny because you would say like, oh, he's probably done now, but maybe not. I don't know.
Mean, yeah, what's the difference?
Yeah.
Right. But it's probably done. But I just thought that was unusual. I've never seen. I don't think I've ever seen that. And whenever I watch fights, I like to look at what they've done the last like 5.
Yeah,
like,
you're like very Jeopardy when it comes to that. Like,
yeah,
you'll be like, I'll be like, oh, this person's good. You're like, they haven't won a fight since 2016. I was like, really? Yep, look it up. And I look it up. They haven't won a fight since 2000. You know what I mean? You always know. You're pretty good at that.
But when you're at a really high level, it's like,
it makes sense.
If you're 500 in your last 5 fights, it's
people say that they're like, they lost their last 3 fights in a row. I'm like, well, one was for a title and the next 2 was like a decision to number 1 and number 2. Like, you know, or they got knocked out. Yeah, to number 1 in the world.
Like Colby Covington's 2-2 his last 4 fights.
Yeah, but I would think he's like considered better than like a better position than Sam Alvey.
Yeah, yeah. Well, he has 2 wins. Sam Alvey didn't. Another exciting fight on the card was McKinney versus Gonzalez. McKinney is tremendously explosive, really athletic, fun fighter to watch. He's good at everything. He ended up finishing with a rear naked choke, but his striking is so powerful and like dynamic. He's the guy, he actually fought one of our friends for Vola and he knocked him out in 7 seconds.
Oh, yeah.
But I think that he's someone who's going to have like a pretty good career.
Yeah.
I would really like to see him versus Patty. Because he comes out of the gate so fucking hard and is like fun to watch, always puts on exciting fights, and he has about the same experience as Patty. He lost to Drew Dober, but I think he's maybe 3-1 in the UFC. Patty's 3-0. I would love to see that fight. That's like a good type timing wise. I would like to see both of those guys fight.
I know Favola keeps pushing to fight Patty, them two at MSG.
Yeah, I would like that.
I mean, I would like
Favola,
that just because I like that for him, but yeah.
But I think that this fight, I mean, who knows? It could happen. Then we had one of my favorite fighters, Vicente Luque versus Neal. I was kind of surprised with that, but Jeff Neal is good.
I literally fell asleep. I have no idea who won that fight.
Jeff Neal finished him.
Really?
I think he's the first person maybe to finish in the UFC to finish Luque.
Really? I like Luque.
I like him too. Yeah, it's super good. But yeah, Neal's obviously good. I think he called out Gilbert Burns. And
I feel like whoever, like, if you beat, that's always kind of how it goes. It's like Luque, then Gilbert Burns.
Yeah.
Which is like weird because
they're like training partners.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. I feel like people always kind of fight them two back to back.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, so it's, a good win. And then Jamil Hill versus Santos. Hill won, got a finish.
That's a good finish.
Yeah, Santos is another one. Since he's fought John Jones, he's now 1-4.
I feel like they kind of just keep going back to his fight with John Jones.
Yeah, they keep saying that.
How long?
That was a long time ago.
Yeah.
Now. Yeah.
And not to take that away from him, that's still a really good thing. But like,
it just goes to show how good John Jones is. Like, if you lose a decision to him like 4 years ago, it's like a crowning achievement in your career.
Yeah, of course.
And it should be.
Yeah.
But that's just how good John Jones is. That a decision loss, people consider that like a major
victory.
Accomplishment.
It's on your resume.
Yeah, especially that one was technically a split decision loss.
Yeah.
So, yeah, because since then he's went 1-4. But Hill's really good. I don't know who he'll fight next. But I don't know. It was like kind of not like a super packed card, but
Is it like small? They didn't have that many fights on it either.
no.
It's always tough coming right off of like a big pay-per-view.
Yeah, and now this weekend they have Dominic Cruz. I'm looking forward to that fight.
Yeah.
But before we get into like some random stuff, we also had Gordon Ryan's match.
Mm-hmm.
So I was kind of not really surprised. I hoped that they would have stayed on their feet a little longer because I like when Gordon tries to wrestle. But it's exactly what I thought. He would dominate the whole time, put him in a lot of bad positions because he's trying to show off like, this is my passing, this is my mount. And then finished with, exactly how he finished him. But after he got tired for a while. But my only thing is I wish that it would be like a 10-minute match because I like to see Gordon go out and like just destroy someone.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to watch like a 20-minute match.
Yeah.
But that was all just a joke. I'm just foreshadowing because
I was wondering if you were going to say anything.
No.
That's why I was like, should I not say anything?
I'm foreshadowing because that's exactly what will happen. Right now, it's like
Gordon hasn't competed yet.
Gordon competes in like 2 hours.
Yes.
But
I was
wanna
wondering
talk
if you were going
about
to
it.
say that. And then I was thinking, I'm like, don't jinx it.
No, you don't have to jinx it with him.
No.
It's like such.
Yeah,
but
I know.
It'll be kind of interesting if he goes out there and gets like fucking triangled right now.
Like a flying triangle.
Yeah, but I don't think that's going to happen.
Yeah.
So what I said is going to happen, and you could pretty much bet on that.
Sorry, this is like kind of off topic from Gordon, but did you hear who broke up? I've been meaning to ask you this like the last 2 days, and now I feel like it's annoying because now you probably heard. But
No.
did you know who broke up?
Pete and Kim. Really?
Yeah.
No, I didn't hear
That's
that.
rumors, but
Oh,
yeah.
That sucks.
I know. I'm like really
I'm not surprised. I mean,
I'm not surprised. I'm surprised this soon. I thought it would last a little longer. But Pete runs through girlfriends.
yeah, he does.
He gets very serious, very quick, and then that's it. He's just like on to the next baddie.
I mean, you would have thought that after like who's it? Adriana Grande. But oh my god,
Ariana
or whatever.
Grande.
How are you ever? Who are you going to date after that?
Well,
And now like Kim's like way more bigger
now
than
he's
her.
like, yeah,
Now, but Kim's a tough act to follow.
yeah.
Although she has all those kids, it would be like.
He got all of the kids' initials tattooed on him.
But I mean, people like that, the tattoos mean nothing.
No,
right?
I know.
Like if you're covered in tattoos,
But it's
you
not.
get
It
something
hasn't.
funny.
I mean, that's what everyone's saying. But I hope it's not true.
Kanye's probably happy.
Because Kim posted a picture with North with new Yeezy sunglasses and put like Yeezy 2023. So that's why everyone's saying it. And she posted a picture of her with like a wet t-shirt that says The Incredibles, because that was always like Kanye always said they were The Incredibles. It's like a.
Well, I hope they get back together. I like the nuclear family.
Love Kanye.
Yeah. Well, and I like when like the family is together.
Yeah, but
I don't like a hodgepodge of people. I want the nuclear family.
Yeah, it's funny because someone
More
like
wholesome.
when I say I love Kanye, like my like girlfriend's like, ugh, he's disgusting. He's so gross. I'm like, but I have a soft spot for him. Like, I
like him too.
think he's put Kim through like a lot more than she will ever know, because Kim is the classiest queen of them all,
Yeah, she
and
is.
would never talk shit on her kid's dad.
Yeah, she is classy.
But I don't know. I'm really bummed about Pete.
Nah. I think it's more just like have a little fun for a while. Pete will be fine.
I know he'll be fine, but I want them to like I want him to like give us a little more.
Yeah, I don't know.
And then Chloe, they think that their surrogate had the baby,
Oh wow, that's
a boy.
Good for them.
I saw some people post like an old picture of Chloe, and I don't know if you'll really understand this because you don't really follow it. It was like her old mugshot when she got like a DUI, and they were like, this Chloe would have beat the shit out of Tristan Thompson when she found out. And it was like, because she used to be like, she
was
used
aggressive.
she used to be like that girl. Like she would be like, don't like, she'd be the girl that'd be like, don't take shit from a guy, blah, blah, blah.
That's funny.
And then, sorry, one more thing. They see that when they interviewed Lamar Odom on the street, and they're like, did you hear about they're having another baby, or Tristan cheating? And he's like, he cheated on her again? He goes, she didn't have to leave if she wanted that. That was kind of funny.
That's definitely funny.
But you love the Kardashians just as much.
Yeah.
But I'm like, I get like genuinely upset like when something happens to them.
I know you do.
Ugh, that sucks.
So what do we have? We have some questions.
Yes, we have a couple like fun like couple questions. Okay. Okay, so the first thing, and some of these I don't want to put you on the spot, but what's a little thing in our relationship that you really love? So it could be like, this is so corny. I'm not gonna tell you. Sometimes at night before we fall asleep, I say, okay, we both have to say one thing that we loved about the day, even if it's just like a little bit of like something stupid, even if it's like, oh, I loved, I don't know, whatever. Something super small. We kind of already do this. But what's a little thing in our relationship that you really love? I'm trying to think. I mean, it's so hard because I love everything. I know.
But no, I like how like how well you're just like you're obviously like such a good athlete and so professional and good at business and everything like that, but how good you are at like making a home. Mm-hmm. Like you're so good at like making a home, like having everything that we need and like everything's always clean and like you're just good at making a home, which I don't even know how that's possible because you're so busy and stuff, but you really are. It's
that's
nice.
Cute. Aw.
Because prior to you, I wouldn't describe any of my living conditions as homey.
Well,
I know like decorations on the walls or anything.
I mean, I bet you anywhere where I live wasn't like that either because it's different. I think when you're younger and you live in an apartment, like some of my friends I would go and I'm like, your apartment's so cute. Mine doesn't look like that. But I was always like,
too busy.
Too busy. And like, I don't even know if I'm going to be here in a year. So what's the point of like, doing all this stuff to where you live?
But even like having groceries, like I would like just buy groceries for the day. Like,
when we first started dating, the one thing that used to bother me, like not in a bad way, just because I was like, you could do better than this, is how much you shopped at drugstores or like CVS and Rite Aid and Walgreens.
Yeah.
You only shop there for your daily necessities. Like, oh, I'm out of paper towels. And you would run to Rite Aid and get like paper towels, laundry detergent, and a Gatorade.
Right.
Like you would have, I have nothing to drink in my house. I'll go get 3 Gatorades from CVS.
Yeah.
That would bother me so much because one, it's like so much more. You didn't even know that it was more expensive.
No.
You would just like get all of your groceries and all of your household needs at.
It was closest.
Yeah. Right. You would do that in 7-Eleven.
Yeah.
You should drink so much Gatorade when we first.
I haven't Gatorade in a long time, years.
Yeah, because I won't let you.
So what about me? Do you have anything?
Okay, a little thing that I really love in our relationship.
That's not a little thing, what I said.
I know, that's what I'm saying. I'm trying to think of something that's really, because obviously I'm like, oh, I love that we trust each other. Well, trust is like a big thing. But a little thing that I like is like when we're both busy during the day and I text each other, like say we're texting each other, I'll be like, all right, I'm going to be home at 6. What time are you going to be home? 7:30. Okay. Oh, I can't wait to get home. Let's party. We always say that, and I genuinely mean that.
Yeah.
And by party, I mean we're making dinner and then like either going to do a fire outside, watch the fights, watch a movie, just you and me. It's literally we're coming home, making dinner and like relaxing. But I think of it as how when I was 25 and I'd be like, let's meet up at the bar and go out tonight. Like I think of it at the same, like when you're younger and you go out and you get so excited, I think of that. And I love that we're both on the same page. Like I'm like, when we get home, I'm like, I can't wait to party. Yeah. And I say that and I genuinely mean that. Yeah, and it's literally just like us like hanging out, playing music in the house and just making dinner.
That's fun.
So that's what I like. Okay. What would our retirement look like? So this is weird because I feel like I feel like when I retire, it's like I'm gonna be super young. But I think maybe this question means like retirement, like when you're like say we have kids, they're on their own now, or like in our like 70s.
I mean, oh man, I don't know. I think it would be pretty similar to it is now, but hopefully with like a nicer boat. Like a bigger boat that we could like almost like travel on. That's something I would like to have. Not like travel, but take it to like from here to like Long Beach Island or Fire Island.
Yeah.
Not like a yacht around the world.
Yeah.
Like it's something I could take, to Long Beach Island from here.
Right.
AC, something like that. So that, and then also I think I'd rather live here just like May to October, and then somewhere else October to May.
Yeah, I would say that. I think like an ideal world, like I think what we do on a daily basis,
I don't think it'll change much.
like as far as the fun things we do, I think would still be the same. But I think what would it look like or the ideal, like I think being here in the summer and Florida the rest of the year.
You know, I was just thinking, we always say like, cause you'd miss the beach. So you couldn't not be near the beach, but in the winter, you don't really go to the beach anyway. You really could split the time between Texas and here, and you have beach all the time.
Mm-hmm. But I think in my head,
I'd rather live in Texas, I think,
mm-hmm.
than Florida. But Florida, you think, oh, go to the beach, but not really.
Yeah, that's true.
You know?
Yeah. I picture us like not living. I picture us being here in the summers, but not living here.
May to October.
Yeah, I picture us living somewhere warmer in the off season and then here. But other than that, like I picture us doing the same thing. Like I still picture us like getting excited, making dinner, going out,
working out.
Yeah, working out, going to restaurants,
comedy shows.
Yeah.
The only thing is when you're old, to go to a comedy show like kind of sucks because like
you don't know
they call you out so much. Like
they call you out every time now.
Yeah, I know, but like old people, they're like always like kind of extra mean to.
I don't think so.
No,
well, I don't think so.
Old people get called out.
I think because when we go, we don't really see older people.
Not much, but when you do, they get called out.
Yeah. Well, you get called out every time anyway, so it wouldn't be a change. So yeah, pretty much the same. Just like being able to not live here all year round.
Yeah, that's about it.
This one's funny, and I know my answer, but I want to hear yours. What couples or couple do you admire the most?
What couples? Like
it could be like someone
like
you know, or
couple,
famous celebrity, someone you know, whatever.
Man, I don't really admire too many couples, really. I don't know.
I've never.
I like our friends the Ludkeys. I think they're a nice couple. They have a nice family. But I mean, yeah, I don't know. People don't know that, so it's stupid to say. But I don't know. I can't answer that.
I can answer it. I don't admire anyone.
Yeah,
I think like and I know this sounds like so, but I know maybe people are like roll their eyes and think this is annoying, but I think we have the best relationship.
Yeah.
I know like all my friends and what they talk about and like other people, and I see their relationships, and like I've never met anyone that has like a similar relationship to us. I always like you'll find friends that like even just when they have like very good marriage or relationship, but they complain about things. I'm like, oh my God, if that were me, I would be like so upset.
Right.
Like that never happened. It's not like girl talk where we like, he's playing golf all day while I'm at home with the kids. I'm like,
or it's so common how I think we've maybe talked about this before. Like people in a relationship will talk shit about their partner, like almost as like a talking point. Cause I think people, it's the type of thing like misery likes company. Like guys will be like complaining about their wives and they're like, oh, my fucking wife does that. Like I've never said one negative thing about you.
Yeah.
Never one time ever. I've never said one negative thing
and
about
not
you.
Because it's
but
like
I think
you're
you,
hiding.
even if like, I mean, it makes you look bad.
Yeah.
Like, why are you with someone?
I always think that too. I'm like,
you?
Yeah. Because I always think that too. And I'm like, sometimes I'm like, people probably think like, oh, she's just not admitting it because you know what I mean, she doesn't want to like see, I don't know, wants to act like her like marriage is like perfect. But I'm like, no, I just like don't. I mean, like we're normal people. Like we even like between us, like we'll have like disagreements about things, but not like I don't know.
Yeah, I've never said something negative. I've never been like, oh, she fucking I've never said something like that.
And I think this is kind of the same for me. Like I literally, there's not one couple that I look up to or admire. When people say couple goals, I'm like, what are you, 5 years old and you're like looking up to like looking up to someone? Like you think you don't know them. You don't, especially when they look at like relationships that people they don't know. I'm like, you have no idea who they are. So how could you say that they're goals? Like I could see if you think just aesthetically, like, oh, they look cute together. That could be one thing.
Yeah.
But it's the same thing. People
like sometimes, like I said, like if I think someone's like a good parents and their kids are good, I admire that. Like, they're good, because a lot of people I know, like I don't think are good parents.
Yeah.
You know, their kids aren't like, you know, so if someone's like a good parent, like my sister, I think is like such a good mother. So I like admire like that about them. It's not like they're couple necessarily, but sometimes like people who have like a good family structure. My friend Marco. Marco, I think, is a really like, sometimes I admire like a family dynamic more than a couple. But I don't have like,
to me,
goals.
that's like the same. People always, this is like corny MMA interview 101 when they're like, what got you started and what fighter did you look up to the most? It's like, no, to be honest, I'm like, and it sounds so like cocky, but growing up, I never looked, there wasn't a girl fighter that I looked up to. I looked up to myself. Like there wasn't, when I was a kid, there weren't girl fighters. And by the time there was like women's MMA became popular, I was already doing it, so I was looking at them as competition. So when I was an amateur and starting off, that was right around the time when Ronda Rousey became popular. I wasn't like, wow. I mean, I thought it was cool. I respect her, and I thought it was like awesome what she was doing. But I was looking at it more like, okay, I need to train so I can beat her. Not, wow, one day I want to be just like her.
Right.
I was already like, that's my competition. Like I didn't look up to. There's some people that I respect, and I like, you know. There wasn't a fighter. I think maybe that just could have been like the time. When I got into it as a child, I didn't really watch it, but it's kind of the same thing. What couple do you my own, like me? I don't really worry about.
You're not really like competing against the other.
No, but which one do you admire?
Yeah, right.
I don't admire any. I admire my own. It's the same thing. Like which fighter did you look up to? None. I looked up to myself. I just think I like worry about myself, not what other. I think that whole concept, it's good to get like motivation from other people or be like, oh, that's kind of cool, that's what I like. But
this was a question someone
these are all like couple questions. But so I like us. I admire us.
Same.
These are probably like so corny, but I don't care. Last one for the couple questions. Which one of my habits or mannerisms annoy you the most? And be honest. Don't be like, nothing you do annoys me.
I can only think of one.
I'm trying to think if I know what it is before. No. Well,
I don't even know if I want to say it.
Just say it.
Sometimes I don't like when you're like hypercritical about your body. You're like, I'm so fat. Like, I feel so fat. Like,
yeah, you do get annoyed with that.
Like, yeah, sometimes like after like a fight or whatever, you're like, we'll see like a obese girl walk by in a bathing suit and be like, that's exactly what I look like in a bathing suit.
No, I say that's what I feel like. That's what I feel like.
Yeah. So that's kind of like annoying. I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah. Huh? Yeah, thank you. Actually, you do the same thing, which is insane. Thank you, Zane. You do the same thing. You're always like, oh, I look so fat. I used to be jacked. You do that more than me, actually. So that's interesting. Thank you, Zane.
You're copying my answer.
No, I have an answer. I have two things. No, that, yeah, when you do always say that your face is fat. But no, one of the habits or mannerisms that annoy me the most, not like, I don't know. I think that it's like and I think this works in our relationships. We're very, very opposite, where I think I'm like overly positive, and I think sometimes you can be negative.
Yeah.
And not towards me. So it's not like you're wrong, or like you're not negative towards me. So you're more negative to yourself. So it's like at the end of it, you're not like that towards me. But I would say that annoys me, because I'm like, sometimes you just like, I don't know. I'm like, wait, you shouldn't be so negative about yourself.
I know. I need to do better at that.
Yeah. And I know it's probably annoying because like, you know that you should be a little bit better at that. And
Well,
I am like
that's why
over the top positive.
that's yeah, you are. But that's why I always get mad. Like there are some people that a criticism of me is like, oh, he's cocky or he thinks. I'm like, no,
he's not.
I hate myself. I'm a loser. Like I'm always like, how can you think that? You really you don't get it. Like if you think that I'm cocky, I'd be like, but if I'm critical of myself, then just think of what I really think of you. So that's really what they're saying.
Yeah.
Like, if you think that you're a loser, then what am I?
Right. Yeah. Because you definitely are like negative. More like I said, you're negative when it comes to yourself.
Yeah.
You're kind of like, oh, like a lot of times you look at the glass half empty.
Yeah.
And I would look at it as like, oh my God, it's overflowing.
But like, only with myself.
Yes,
like,
yeah. That's what I'm saying. You're not like, oh, you can't do that. You think like you're overly positive when it comes to me and supporting me. But like with yourself, sometimes I'm like, oh, I wish like, I don't know. I think super positive.
But I think
things.
like part of it is like, because I've never accomplished a goal. You know what I mean? I've never accomplished a goal. So like, how can you know what I mean? Like,
but like I've never, my goal is to be like world champion. I've never accomplished that.
Yeah.
But like,
yeah.
You know, your goal is probably to be like what in the Olympics?
Well, I mean, yeah, Olympic champion. Yeah.
But like you got the different of the mindset is like you got probably just as close to that as I have.
No. You fought for the belt.
Okay,
well, you know what I mean?
I didn't get that, but I'm still like at a high level.
And you still might.
And yeah, I'm saying like as of right now, like I'm saying as of right now.
You're not even in the same fucking galaxy.
But
not
like,
even close.
That's where you're like, you know what I mean? At the end of the day, I'm saying like I have come close, but like if everything stops right now, I haven't achieved. That was probably like the only goal that I've really set. I mean, obviously you make little goals in life as far as like, you know, buy a house, be happy and all that. And I've reached those goals, but I'm saying like one super,
I'm really saying like personal goals. If you've never achieved any of your personal goals, how can you think of yourself as like successful or positively?
But I'm sure
like, I never have.
I think you have had goals that you've achieved, but you only focus on the ones that you haven't achieved. Mm-hmm. I'm sure like a goal was to buy a house, first house.
No, but I want to have like 20 houses, 50 houses. You know what I mean? Like the fact that we haven't bought a house in a while, like it makes me like lose my mind. But what about
like to like, you know, find someone and marry someone?
Well, yeah, that stuff's good.
But I feel like that you just focus on like the other stuff. Like that's where
I'm saying that's not me. That's like us is different. I think of us in a good light. I think of me in a negative light.
Yeah. So I just want you to like, that's the only thing that would annoy me is like, cause I'm like, I think you're just like so perfect and amazing. And sometimes you get negative and I'm like, oh my God, no, like everything, like don't stress.
Yeah. Yeah. That's good advice.
But I want 50 houses. If we bought 50 houses, you'd be like, I want 100.
Well, yeah. 100 doors.
Yeah. Okay. Last 2 questions. Zane, you can get in on these.
A lot of questions.
Yeah. If money wasn't an issue, what passion would you pursue right now?
Me?
All of us. I have my answer.
Yacht life.
What?
Yacht life.
What is it?
Yachting.
You just want to live on a yacht?
And if money wasn't an issue, yeah, that's what I would want to do.
No house or just be on a yacht?
No, I would have like a
like kind of how like Conor McGregor does, like lives.
Yeah, like a sick yacht.
And like travel around.
Just take it to Croatia for Yacht Week.
Mm-hmm.
If money was no object. The only thing I would change, I would live in the same house. The only thing I always say I want is like a sick boat.
Yeah.
That's the only thing I ever say that I want.
Yeah.
I have everything I like, you know, as far as things like that.
It's funny. You're like, I take a yacht to Croatia. And I was like, wait, maybe I set my standards too low. Because I had my answer.
What was yours going to be?
My answer was going to be like, farm, like have a big farm.
A farm?
Like, even I like our house here, but I wish we could have like a giant farm and like endless amount of like
really
like chickens with eggs. And I don't want to live on a farm. I want to live in our house right now, but I wish we could like, I don't even know if we could. I wish we could like buy one of the houses around us and just knock it down and just have like a huge like chickens, where you could have eggs and have like a whole farm and like
by our street.
Yeah, and just be like, oh, we have tomatoes, every type of vegetable and stuff. I think that would be really cool. But like, I would need to
You
like,
could probably do that. I mean, not here, but you could probably easily do that.
But I kind of want to do it here. That was mine. But you're like, you take a yacht to Croatia.
No, I mean, I would like.
I want a tomato
because you said
plant.
like an activity, didn't you say?
What
hobby?
Yeah. What passion would you? What passion would you pursue? Mine would be like gardening.
Oh, mine would be like yachting or real boat life.
Yeah. Okay. Zane, what about you?
If money wasn't an issue,
what passion would you pursue right now?
Honestly, I would do like, I want to like design like jiu-jitsu gear because I think it's all so ugly.
Wow. Okay.
You could do that. You don't need money to do that, do you?
Well, but like I like it just,
you need time.
Like, you need time and
so
like
I guess
like
if you had what like you could be like, oh, I want to learn how to do something silly, but obviously if money was an issue, like if you just had endless time to like pursue something.
Yeah, because all the brands are just so ugly. Like everyone like does the same thing.
Yeah, they're all very similar.
Yeah.
Like if you know how sometimes I don't realize how ugly jiu-jitsu clothes are because I'm just so used to it. But did you ever like go into like a public store in a jiu-jitsu outfit?
Never.
Okay, no one does that, but I go to the gym dressed in what I'm wearing. Always, like I'm like a little kid. Yeah. So like if I'm wearing, because why wear regular clothes? Walk into, if you're coming from your house wearing regular clothes, go to the gym and then put on the clothes you're about. It's just one extra step.
So you bring clothes to change into on the way home.
After, yeah, because why? That just doesn't make sense. You're changing clothes and wearing them one extra time. So like, and if I know I'm training at night and coming right home, I kind of bring like almost like pajamas, whatever, because I shower at the gym and then put on my pajamas and come home. Like, why are you? You know what I'm saying? So when sometimes I'll be like, oh, I got to stop and get gas. And it's like in the summer when I don't have a jacket on and I'm going into 7-Eleven buying like a Monster with like full rash guard and full like specs.
Like John Danaher.
Yeah. And then all of a sudden I'm like, I don't think anything of it. I'm like, I'll be waiting in line. I'm like, people are probably like, what the hell is this girl wearing?
Because like, I don't know. Like just like rash guards, like all rash guards are ugly. Like they're either like a super boxy logo or it's like some like werewolf transforming on
Why don't they
back.
just make them like plain colors? Why do they have to have like logos on them?
That's what I think.
Just make it like because that's why I like a lot of the clothes that I get from UFC for Fight Week. A lot of them are just plain black and have a little like logo on the chest, like that looks like Nike clothes.
Yeah, it's perfect.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh, I had something to say about our podcast page.
What about
it? I thought you were gonna say Gordon went and he lost.
No, it's what do you call it? So I'm like looking through our DMs and like catching up on like everyone, like replying to everyone, like, oh, thank you so much for like posting and sharing.
This is on the Instagram?
Yeah.
Okay.
So and I feel bad like adding this guy, but like he kind of deserves it.
What?
So like he like remember that Andrew Tate clip we made?
Yeah.
Yeah, about like how you talking about like, oh, like it's women's MMA, like why are you even talking?
Yeah.
Right. This one guy was like he like slides up and he's like, oh, she dumb.
Yeah.
And I was like, and like, remember how we were like before, like, we're just gonna be like really nice to people and see what happens. And so I type back, I'm like, she's very gorgeous to me.
Yeah, you said that.
Yeah. And then he like replies right away. He's like, sorry guys, I really love the content. I'm just talking ish. Hope you guys and gals kill it.
See,
it's
when
like,
you're nice.
What?
See, we were talking before about how trolls, like I posted a video on my TikTok about the video that we talked about last week, my pre-fight ritual, how I write down what I'm going to do. And like, I got like 5 comments and they were all like, oh yeah, well that's what you just write. Oh, I'm only going to go to decision. And the one guy I was like, but I win a lot though. And then he's like, can you do a 15-minute interview with me for my like podcast page? I'm like, you just insulted me. And then you asked me to do an interview with you?
I still get so many hundreds of messages a day from that for martial arts, and they're all really mean.
They're all because people have like no idea that like there's like another person like that's like behind this clip like reading what you're saying.
Yeah, but then
we have
that one guy who listens on YouTube. He's probably listening right now, but he is like leaves comments every single week. and they're only negative. Like, why are you watching these videos? And he watches them closely because he'll say something that's at the end of it, and he's always critical about you for not having timestamps.
I love this guy. He's my best friend.
Yeah, but like every week he says that you're gonna lose to Manon Farrow.
But it's
only
different.
Only negative. So
it's
like,
different if it's like on Instagram. You just see a picture, make a negative comment. I'm like, damn, you listened for
why
like.
Would you listen to an hour worth of the podcast and if you don't like it?
Yeah, I hope you're okay. If you need someone to talk to, you can always like the guy that leaves those YouTube comments.
Because we get like 6 comments on a YouTube video, and he's one of them every time.
And
like,
it's so negative every time. I feel bad. Like there must be.
Why are you listening?
Yeah,
there's other content on YouTube. There's got to be dozens of other videos to watch.
I just got a DM from another girl who's like, "Can you guys make your episodes longer, please? I love them so much." I was like, "Oh, that warms my heart.
Oh,
like, why
nice.
can't people just say that?"
Yeah,
That's
it sucks
cute.
because like then, and this is what I always try to do is like I try to respond to the positive people because it's so easy to be like, people are like, "Oh, I love you, cool, good job, congrats." And one person's like, "You fucking suck," and I'm like, "Shut up," ugh. And you don't answer all the people that say it because most of the comments are good, so you almost just like. It's like you see like the bad one and you're like,
I wouldn't say mostly are good. Not on not on anything that really gets like thousands of comments.
Yeah, you're right.
Most of those are bad. If it's only like a couple comments, then it's usually good stuff.
Yeah.
But if it has like thousands of comments, it's usually bad stuff.
Yeah.
Like the one where you wrote writing down the thing, someone wrote, "But it's not working."
I was like,
what?
Wait. What?
I almost replied. I'm like, but if they have like no followers and like no, like why would you even reply?
Well,
Like, it's not even a person.
It's always like a 35-year-old guy who's like really out of shape with like maybe like 2 pictures.
It's funny to like one of their pictures though. Like go to like their worst one and just like it. I do that a lot.
When I
I'll go like 5 years ago and it'll be like some guy like with a selfie like disgusting fat face and I just like it.
Yeah. You know what my move is, what I did the other day is like when people like send me like mean DMs, I just screenshot the DM and then I like put it up and then I zoom in on their picture and I just put that up.
So funny.
It's like the guy I put up like a food, he's like, "Those are the most unappealing tacos ever." And then I just put that up and then I just zoom. Did he
say anything after that?
He's like, "Thanks for making me famous." I was like, if you think that I didn't even say. I said this in my head. I didn't say anything. But I love doing that when someone's like, "I hope you get knocked the fuck out." And then I zoom in and it's like a picture of them with like their daughter on their shoulders.
Yeah.
But yeah. Okay, last one. What is the most important lesson you've learned in the last year? And then in the last 5 years?
Who's going to start? You?
I've only been alive for 21 years. That's like a quarter of my life.
Okay, last year.
Last year, I think it's just that like
we know the year. It's the year of the breakup for you. Right?
You didn't even have to say that.
You're like, wait, I wasn't even thinking about it.
No, I was. I mean, I think the most important thing is that like you can't like rush change. At least for me, it's like I feel like I'm always like trying to like rush into like things and like even if it's like something like silly like I don't know like learning something for a test or like jujitsu or like rushing where I am in life. That's
a big part. I think when you're younger, you think of time as like it seems so long. Like if you were to be like, "Oh, you have one more year of this," you're like, "Fuck, that's so long."
No, I think.
But now I'm like, "Oh, only a year. That's nothing," But I didn't think that until probably like the last like year or two, like till like in my 30s. Yeah, but when you're younger, you think of everything as like time is so long.
Yeah. Do you have anything?
You go.
1
year or 5 years?
I'll do like 1 year. I can't think of anything 5 years.
Yeah.
Really, right. 1 year. I think that it's really important. You always hear about this is like keeping things tighter to your chest. Like if you have something good going on or something, don't tell too many people about it. Keep it like tight to your chest because usually good things don't come out of that. Like talking about the things you have going on. I think it's important to keep things like, very like close to the chest. And that's something that a lesson that I learned, and, a costly lesson that I learned, but I think it's important to, keep things close to the chest.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Makes sense. I don't know. I think for me, like, important lesson I've learned is just like not, it sounds so basic, but not worry about what anyone else thinks.
You just learned that? I feel like you've always done that.
No, I mean, I'm talking about like before I wasn't worried about like what some troll on the internet says about me, but maybe I was worried about like, what some of my friends think, and I don't care at all. You know what I mean? Even that, like, or, even like and I'm still like this sometimes. Like sometimes I'm like, oh, I don't want to post something because like, what if like, I don't know, even still
yeah.
What if like, oh, I don't want to post this. What if like a little girl follows me and I don't want to be like that, or like I don't want to say something mean and then people think I'm mean. And now I'm just like, whatever. It's just who I am. I know I'm a good person, so I don't need to be fake.
I think the more real you've done that you've gotten, we said before that this is the first year, it feels like you've gotten more like fans or following. Not necessarily like a ton more numbers, but people seem more interested in you now than they used to.
Yeah, maybe.
I don't know what that's from. Maybe.
But I think I don't know if it's just more time I put in the sport, and maybe even our podcast, more people start to like learn more about me and us. But I don't know. I just think that like all that matters is like you have to be selfish with your feelings. And people are always like, oh, try to be nice to everyone. Like I worry about you and me. Like I worry about our family, and then that's it.
Yeah.
Because like even friends, like sometimes I'd be like, oh, I feel bad, but no one cares about you. It sounds rough, but like I'm only concerned about like us and our growth.
Yeah.
I don't care what anyone else says. If it's going to upset someone, or, if someone, and I kind of too, another lesson I've learned is if someone annoys me, like I just won't talk to them again. Like it doesn't have to be like a big blow up or anything like that. But if someone's just is giving me a little bit of negative energy, whether they realize it or not, it could just be something as simple as like, maybe they're not, and it's just a feeling I'm getting. I'm going to put that out of my life.
Yeah.
And I just only want things and people in my life that are like excited, positive, and happy, supportive. If I feel like someone's not being supportive or doesn't really care, I get like even just a weird energy. I'm like, nah, not into it. Like I said, it doesn't have to be like a fight or blah. Like I'm not getting in a fight or an argument with anyone because I don't care. The only person I care to fight about is my family. You know what I mean? That other than that, it's just important lesson I learned is worry about yourself and don't care what anyone else thinks.
That's a good lesson.
Be selfish, basically.
Good lesson. That's kind of a fun episode. Got into a lot of different things.
Yeah.
Right, Zane? Now we got to go finish watching Gordon.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Right.
Zane's
Thanks for listening.
Zane's probably gonna leave
and subscribe.
He's not gonna hang out with us. He's gonna leave. Thank you guys. Bye.